Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Actually, this type of classes are quite optional because I have already completed your syllabus. But today I will show some of the theoretical aspects, but I have already discussed in practical approach. That means when we run or we write program, then what happens or how can we efficiently write that this type of things. Okay. So before getting into that kind of discussion, I need to share my screen or present my screen. So if you can check if my screen is visible or not. I
Visible, sir.
it's visible. Okay. So just open. Let us prepare another file for it. Another copy of this file. Hmm. Okay. So I have created a copy of that file. Now I have discussed function. Okay. Function and array. Now I am going to pass an array through function. I think file system I have already discussed, so I don't need to discuss that thing. You can take care of that thing. No problem. Now let's consider I am declaring one array. Okay. Type 6. Let us this type of initialization for an array is called static initialization because the values are specified in your code. We are not taking values from user. We are not taking. Let's check if I can properly print them out. That means basic input output for an array. If I am successful with that, then I can go for transferring the entire data into function, sending the data. So if I make any mistake in my code, please let me know. Hmm, if you cannot understand any instruction, please raise the question. Please ask me the question. Otherwise, I will assume that you have properly understood what I am writing. Okay, is there any problem with the code?
No, sir.
No, sir. Just a recall. When everything is over, now I'm printing it. Okay, there is some problem. Definitely there is a problem. I have taken the values directly from the source code, so I should not take the value from user. Rather, I write printf directly. And before starting of the printf, I write one new line because otherwise, okay, if there is no such input, you can directly start. No problem. Here there should not be any ampersand. I have given a space here. Otherwise, the values will be placed actually adjacent to each other, next to each other. I like to keep them separated. So this is somehow. Let me run the code. Any problem? Oh, mistake. Semicolon. You check the values from here. What I had put in the array, these are available. Okay. This is normal array operation. You people know it already. Okay. Now my task is to shift the entire information into separate functions such that sometimes we deal with a complicated task and that requires also array. So I shouldn't actually elaborate everything in main with it. We have transferring into separate, then it will be easier for us, and that is also good for the modularity of the program. Okay. So let us do that thing. We maybe I am not returning anything, so I design one function f which will accept integer array. Sorry, here it's maybe I can write p because sending an array into a function is a little bit tricky. You have to be careful with the syntax. It should be the syntax should be like this, and let us shift the entire thing into this function. I have not maintained proper indentation, so now here I have to call if a. This is call statement. This is call statement for array, and now assume, but I haven't declared any prototype. Okay, so prototype is like this. Here you don't have to write the name of the variable, just in this way. If you do not understand, please tell me. This is the prototype for passing array into function, and this is same as this. Just you have to write the name of formal argument, and here it
So
is the
then
actual
inside
argument.
printf we have to give b of
Yes,
I.
yes. That is my mistake, and that is because I had directly copied it from here. Okay, it should be B because I am collecting the information, collecting the content of array into E. Okay. Now let us check. I am trying to print it from B, so if it is possible. I think this is okay. The same array is getting printed from B. Okay. Let's see. Let's do one modification because array name is itself a pointer. So if I change anything, okay, that is also. And if I make a copy of this and place here, look at the declaration of I. These names are same, but still it belongs to this function. So this I is local to this function as long as the control remains within this function. Uh, Actually, the we have the I available. Otherwise, it will be destroyed. So there should not be any problem if we provide the same name for these two variables. What is this? So before that, let us write one printf. Otherwise, it will be side by side. So not like one piece. And I write it that from name. Okay. Okay. From name. And here similarly we write the same thing here from function. I'm printing it from the function. Okay. Let's check if there is any difference in it. There should not be any difference, but still let's check. Let me check. Okay, here B should not be there. Let's write A here because the variable is A. Just examine the output. Uh, Same output is, but from function it executes first and from main it executes later. Why is it so? Because control is shifted from this line from main to function. As a result, as a result, the body of the function executes first and then body rest of the part the control comes back to here and then it executes this part. Any doubt in it? If you have any doubt, please tell me. Do you have any doubt in it?
No, sir.
No. So I think it is okay. Now I am making one modification and I have to test that if it is reflected in array or not because is it call by array, call by value or call by address. I have to test it. Okay. If it is call by value, then if I make any modification, it should not be reflected here. But if it is call by address, whatever I modify here, it should be reflected. Okay. So as a result, I am making a little bit of change here. Okay. Let's say the last value is 100, so I am making it 110. So A5, I think it is A5 equal to 110. First it will print the normal array, then it being modified, and then it is going to print this. But if it is only a call by value, then this part remains same as this one. This is the testing strategy. Okay. Oh, A cannot be here. Because B. Inside function, we can only use B. Sorry. Let's examine what is happening here. Okay. These are your original values. Okay. From function it is not modified up to this instruction, because I have modified after printing, but it has been really modified. Check it, because when it is getting printed from main, before that modification is done. Okay, so it is like a call by address. It's not call by value. Any problem in it? Can you understand the reason of this change?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So next time when you use, you must follow this type of strategy, that you can safely send an array into that into another function and do some modification, whatever you like, and it will be automatically reflected in your calling function. You should not bother about whether it is sent or whether I have to send the address such that you have to get it. And actually, this will make your task easier. You can shift uh, any type of burden with this type of data into different functions. It will be easier for you to design your code. Now, I will send it in different method through pointer. Okay. Let us make a copy of it. I will send the same thing through pointer. I use one pointer. So here actually your prototype should be different. Let's say it is T. Okay. I can safely write A because A is same as ampersand A0. If you have a problem with it, you can write ampersand A0. But that actually syntax, although it is easy, but it is much more easy to write on A. Okay. Now, how do we access? Uh, so for I equal to 6, I have to print. Okay, it should be same. It should be same, but here since I have sent to a pointer, it should be star key, and after that key plus plus. Forget about this modification. Right now we are dealing with this. Uh, Let me check if there is any problem. No, I think no. Hmm. So let us run. These are two outputs. I think you can see that there is no such difference because I haven't made any modification in my function. I just have passed the same thing. Receiving actually the control is shifted as a result. No modification is done. Okay. Now, now I am trying to modify. Okay, but before modification, we have to know why is the position of that pointer. Since it has accessed the last element, so after that it is incremented. So it is after the last element. Okay, that is outside the bound of an array. I think we have declared an array of size 6, but it has this loop runs for 6 times. So I think after that, when it accesses this value, then it becomes p plus plus. So it will reach here after 100. That means after this location. So as a result, if I make any modification on p, then it will not be reflected in the array because it is all pointer has been positioned after the array or it is beyond the array. So you have to bring it back into the array. So how can I do this? You have to write minus minus p. Here it will move backward. Based on this instruction, it will move backward. So when it moves backward, you can directly write. Now let us check if it is executing or not. Any doubt to understand the output? Check it. Thoroughly check it. If you have any doubt to understand the output or even coding, you can ask any question. Okay.
Sir, can you show the source code once?
Okay, okay. Definitely, I can show you. This is the code inside your function, and this is the code inside main actually. Main
Yes, sir,
almost
understood.
remains same, but I think you are interested in this part.
Yes, sir, understood.
But if I make it minus minus again, then what happens? Can you tell me what may happen?
Sir, second last term changes.
Second last will be changed into 110. Okay. Let us check it. This time the last value is not affected, but the second last is changed into 100 because we have moved the pointer backward up to here actually. So in this way, you can traverse, you can scan the array as required, and you can also modify the value. Modification means the processing; it's a part of processing, and you can do whatever you like. Maybe you are looking for a value, maybe you are summing up the value, so whatever. If I can access the value and modify the value, that's enough for any type of operation. Rest of the part is logic synthesis. You can do this. No problem. So if you are okay with this code, then I will move on to passing structure. Is it okay? Is that code
Yes, sir.
okay or any problem to understand? Uh, okay, I assume it is okay. Then let us make another code, source code, and we will modify the same thing for structure. So before that, I have to erase the entire part. So structure is something different from array. You have to declare the structure first. Define the structure. Okay, we will build the prototype later. First of all, I think uh, let's say integer role and character name. A very simple form of a structure. This time I am commenting out because it will be very complex if I keep it open. This is not required also. Just I am trying to create one structure variable. I am going to print the variable. Okay. Uh, Let us name it S. And like array, I can also pass it through second bracket. I can write it through second bracket. It's a static type of initialization. Let's say name is 20, sorry, roll number is 20 and name is Saurabh. Whatever. Now, okay. There is only one problem with this type of structure because if I declare it inside main, only the main can access, but my target is to send it through function, so I'm keeping it outside. So declaration variable is available inside, no problem. Now I'm simply printing the values. Tell me, how can I write the name of the variable? Any idea? I think you know. If I need to print the roll number, how can I write? Yes,
S dot
S
role.
dot roll.
x dot roll, exactly. Similarly, I will write the next name. It should be x dot name. Let us check if it is working or not. Okay, that's it. So definitely it's working. I don't think there is any problem in it. Okay. Problem is elsewhere. Okay. Okay. Now my target is to not print in here. I will pass it into function, and from that function I am going to print the values. Okay. So here is your function A. Inside that I have to print. Okay. Let us not cut it. Let us copy and you have to send the variable. Yes. Okay. Understood. Like an array. You have to send the variable. Here actually let us consider it should not be integer, it should be struct student because type of S is struct student. Let us consider it is T, not S. So it should be T dot roll, T dot name. Any problem to understand this part?
No, sir.
No. Here actually have to change the prototype. It should not be, you don't need to write any name of the variable, just the type. So what do I expect here? Let us write from main here. And same thing we do it for the function from function. Just wait, excuse me. Okay. Now let us run. Try to understand from function roll 20 main product from main also, and why is this sequence, that means function is first and main is second. I don't need to explain because You already know, you have already seen it for the array. Now my question is that is it call by array or call by call by value or call by. To test that, I have to make some modification in the function. I have to check that if it is getting reflected in name. So let us modify the roll number here. It is the easiest. Dot, I think the variable count. So I will make it with 29. It was 20, but I am making it 29. Okay. If it is called by value, then it should not be reflected here. But if it is called by address, we will have the reflection. Okay. What do you suggest? What kind of parameter passing is it? Just analyze the output and tell me what kind of parameter passing is it?
Call by value.
Call by value. What is the reason?
Here it is not affected. 20 is
That is the reason. So this is call by value. Now, in order to make it call by address type of thing, we need to send the address. Okay, and to receive the address, we need a pointer. So prototype is changed into start student star, and not only that, here it will be a pointer also. Okay. So if it is a pointer, then dot operator cannot be used. It should be arrow, and similarly, this is also arrow. So I'm making this modification. Is there any problem that something you cannot understand like this? Check it. If you have understood the modification properly or not. Just I have changed the prototype. It was initially start student, but I have made it start student star, because actually we are sending the address of S and we are received, and this address is being received in this function using a pointer. That means actually if the instruction is like that, t equal to some percent, it's like. Now from function I am going to see. Okay, before executing any modification, let us check if it is printing successfully or not. If there is a problem, we cannot run it successfully. I think when we change into pointer, there is no such problem. It runs. Now, it's a matter of modification. Whether we can modify or not, or whether we are making it call by address or still it is call by address. Check it. Analyze the output and tell me what is happening here.
Sir, value of role has changed.
Yes. So what is the reason behind it?
Sir, because we are calling by address, so
Exactly. But it almost actually, if you look at the call by value version of it, so it almost looks like an sending array. Okay. But it was not a call by address. Okay. Just call by address. To make it call by address, you have to do this. Okay. Sir, have you sent any 2D array through function? Two-dimensional array that means say you want to do some matrix operation, you don't want to do it in your main function. So have you done this type of thing in your lab? Just remember and tell me, have you sent any two-dimensional array? Yes or no? If you have sent it, it is yes. If you have not done it, then it is no.
no, sir, not till now.
No. Okay. Let us check if it is possible or not. I think I better use the source code what I have prepared for the 1 year. Is it? Ah, it is. So that make a copy of that code. Now assume it's a two-dimensional array. Yes, that is one more dimension. Although it looks like squares, but uh, in row of measure can easily each other. Or if it is difficult for you to understand, you can I am sending the output in right. I'm making it a little bit different. Okay. So these two are this is the static initialization of two-dimensional array. 2, 6. Okay, I think there is some problem in it. 6 row and 2 columns. So it becomes 2 rows and 6 columns. So I'm making it 2 rows and 6 columns. From function, right now I don't need this function. Right now, firstly I am going to test if I can print the content of 2D array. Is it 2D array? So this instruction is not required here. I need a one more loop. I need one new line. Otherwise, it doesn't look like a matrix. Actually, some people may be confused with this statement. How have I written like this? Better explain using MS Paint. Okay. I think Microsoft Word will be much better than that. Because there is a scope for table creation. So 2 rows and 6 columns. This type of structure, this type of organization is there. So if you have this type of organization in two-dimensional array, you can actually write the information row-wise, okay, one after another. Actually, in memory it is stored like this. So that's why it is the content of first row and it is the content of second row. Any problem to understand this?
No, sir.
So, so this is content of first row is this and content of second row. In this way I have written. So from main I am going to print. Let us check if it prints successfully or not. Then we will try to send it into. There is some problem. I think there is some serious type of problem. Let me check what happened. I don't know what is the reason for it. Let us check the source code. Integer a to c I. Okay, so it's taking some garbage values. Actually, and not only that, I have to
In
declare another.
printf, sir, AI is a
Exactly,
only
exactly. It should be J. There is some serious problem. And A plus plus, here counter should be up to 2 and it should be A I. I think it's okay now. This looks like the matrix. Okay. I think if you notice these values and this one, 2 rows and 6 columns. Okay. Any problem to understand this? If you don't have any, no problem. I will got it. I don't think you
No,
have
sir.
a problem because you have mostly done the static initialization. Now my target is to send it. But for sending, actually, you need to specify row size. This is compulsory. Otherwise, it will not be accepted. So I think there is some problem in it. So I better fully copy this part. I and J, so I need also J here. So this is B actually. So it should be B and the Row size should be specified here. Okay, you have to specify. This is compulsory. Here and in also prototype, it should be like this. Okay. Mhm. Now it is A, it is B, and this is not from main, it is from function. Okay, 2, 6, D, B, I and J. Now I have to change it to function. I think there is no such problem in it. Let us run. Uh, must have bounds for all dimensions. Okay. Maybe I'm wrong. Do I have to specify the last one? Maybe I am wrong. Hmm. I think column size. It's not row size, it's column size. Now let us analyze the output. Now analyze the output and tell me what do you understand from here.
Sir, why does column size need to be specified?
That is the part of the protocol because otherwise column size is not specified. How much memory is allocated, that is little bit of problem, and that syntax is designed in this way. So that's why not only column size, if you use multi-dimensional, that means 3 dimension, 4 dimensions, so other than the first dimension, you have to specify all the dimensions.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So this is the scenario. Now I am going to modify inside the function. Let us check if modification is getting reflected on. So let us modify quick save. Uh, B 2 1. Is it valid cell? We need to know row number of rows are
Yes,
2. So I think it should be 0 or 1, not 2.
yes, sir.
So second row, and you can make it 3 also, or 2. Second row, third column. Okay. I am making modification here. Okay. Actually, I am adding it by 10, incrementing it by 10. Do you understand the meaning of this instruction? Do you understand the meaning?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay. Now tell me what is happening here. is your original input, original array. What is happening here? Is there any change in it?
Yes, sir. Second row, third column.
Second row, third column. It is incremented by 10. I think what I have displayed, that is okay for the time being. Do practice this type of things in your lab because these things are a little bit tricky. But these are very useful. Okay, okay. For the time being, you can leave the class.
Thank you, sir.
Or if you have any doubt or query, you can ask.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, I am leaving.